Hey all you nerds, Gabe aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls encrypted-inspired Pokemon region. In the previous episode, you're still traveling a weird Ultra Beast-infested apocalypse helping people. You defeated a legendary and rescued Valentino and Tobert. You pull out your map to see who else needs your help. To the north, in the middle of the lake, you spot a fairy-type icon showing that one of your mind-controlled family members is there. Using your Rotom Shift glider, you leap from the top of the water tower and soar towards the islands, expertly landing on the beach of the lake. When your feet hit the sand, one of your Pokemon pops out to roll around in the wet dirt. Little Purlipod has been collecting dirt and minerals from all over the region during your travels, and with this last bit of sand, it has completed its collection and is ready to evolve. Okay, so this is based off of the Samaritan sea snail mainly, with its funky branching antlers, and there's also a dash of Low-Cole, the giant snail from French legend. This thing has been around the region and is wizened by its travels, so having this kind of abstracted face and mouth parts that feel a little bit like a big bushy mustache, yeah, that's fun. And of course, I spent forever on the shell. I mean, that's what this whole Pokemon thing is, building its shell just the way it wanted. It's self-actualization and self-affirmation and all that good stuff rolled together. I could see it getting a lot of fun setup moves, and even decorate to help fancy up its friends too. The colors were fun, taking Purlipod's intentional color palette and sprinkling in a few more pastels. And there's a pretty fun shiny too. Okay, let's meet the massive Iridesco, the fancy shell Pokemon. A Purlipod that is able to travel across a wide range of biomes collecting sand is finally able to evolve into this massive snail. Shimmering mineral deposits have erupted out of its rocky shell, and large antlers display multicolored pearls. Iridesco are proud of their self-made appearance and protect any Pokemon in need. The ability is Storm Drain, so that draws in all water-type attacks and boosts its special attack, with the optional abilities being Innards Out and Dazzling. You pat it on its weird head, and it coos in appreciation for you bringing it around the region. But you've got to get to your sister, so you pull out your Rotom Kayak and hit the water. The Pokemon in and around the lake are all pretty freaked out and aggressive. You spot Nambomble, Sproingut, and even Papaddle out here. As you get closer to the area indicated on your map, you notice that the waters are shifting and churning below you, illuminated with magical pink and purple energy. Up on some rocky spires, you observe numerous fairy-type Pokemon dancing about in a synchronized and somewhat unsettling manner. On the large center island, instructing the surrounding Pokemon as if she was conducting them, you see your sister Maple. The mind control collar glints around her neck, and she narrows her eyes as you approach.
Well, I didn't expect to see you here. I was told to take my fairy-type Pokemon and cause some chaos and destruction. In all honesty, I'm still trying to figure out how to do that in the most effective way. I mean, they're fairy types, am I right? So you better leave. I need to figure this out.
You hate that it's come to this, but you need to free your sister from her mind control. And so you throw out a Pokemon to challenge her. She smirks and throws out her trusty Squattles and orders it to attack. To both of your surprise, Squattles just stands there shaking, unable to bring itself to follow Maple's orders. She continues yelling at Squattles, but with a tear in its eye, Squattles turns around and joins you. This will be a double battle, since Squaddle loves Maple too much to let her remain mind-controlled. It's not much of an attacker, but it will do its best to keep your team healed up. Maple screams in frustration, picks 6 new Pokemon to use, and sends out the first 2. The starter that your starter is strong against hits the field, flanked by a little Flipint. While her starter certainly is strong, the real problem is Flipint, who sets up defensive screens and hazards. It's supposed to be about cleaning, so it tossing sticky webs and spikes out is pretty mean. Eventually, you manage to knock these two out. And the next Pokemon is new to you, the evolution to Eyleer. Yep, our eyeball bat is going to go full biblically accurate angel. The halo look of Eyleer gets turned into these rings, which will populate with a bunch of eyeball-like orbs. I mean, it should be pretty creepy after all. Of course, we're going to give it a bunch of pretty wings. We need to maintain some of the beauty of an angel after all. I thought about making it a steel type since there's so much gold now, but flying and fairy just makes the most sense still. Plus, it would be pure gold, which is like a pretty malleable metal after all. And I don't know, we'll say that it gets some steel type moves anyway. Oh, and as angelic as this look is, the shiny is a pretty sick inversion. Okay, let's go ahead and learn about Eyleer, the ring Pokemon. This flying type is able to watch everything going on around it, while it focuses its large eye on whatever it is most interested in. The black orbs around its body are also eyes which scan everything. Eyleer can be a bit judgmental, and if they disagree with their trainer's behavior, they will often refuse to listen. Some particularly upset Eyleer have destroyed their Pokeballs and returned to the wild to escape a trainer they disapprove of. The ability is Serene Grace, which doubles the chance of a move's secondary effects, with the hidden ability being Natural Cure. It's a relatively bulky support mon, but is it too creepy for you to want? Or would you rock one of these angels if you had the chance? And who is battling at its side? Well, it's none other than Shaffer. Eyleer pelts your team with secondary effects while supporting its devilish teammate. They are quite the pair, taking out a good amount of your team and bringing Squaddles down to a few remaining HP. But eventually you manage to take them both out. Maple's final two Pokemon are the tricky Azaboon, whose prankster ability makes it a menace, along with the final stage of one of our pseudo-legendary lines. About time, am I right? Okay, so again, this line is based on the Abao Aku, a shape-shifting being of light that has slowly been becoming more corporeal. We're taking the ribbons present in the previous stage and really elongating them into the main structure here. And then the light that has hardened into geometric dice shape previously are now clusters growing on it. Basically, the facets of a dice kind of crushed together. In fact, that's how this thing evolves. You need to have it in a party filled with Pokemon with different dice shapes. You need like a D6 like Cubesque or a D12 like Isidron and so on. It's a tough evolution method, but I don't know, we'd sprinkle clues somewhere about how to do it. Now, I thought about bringing in the dragon typing because of the body shape, or have the rock typing because of the crystals, but I actually prefer it just remaining mono fairy. Okay, let's find out about Refractal, the prism Pokemon. This fairy type's entire body is made of light that had been compressed down into physical crystals and ribbons. Refractal has a mastery over light and enjoys putting on colorful light shows for people and Pokemon. Unable to evolve in their home dimension, they are eternally grateful to any trainer that helps them reach this majestic and corporeal form. The ability remains Prism Armor, so that reduces damage from super effective attacks by 25%, with the hidden ability being Clear Body. And what do you think? Would you put in the work to get your hands on one of these? It thrashes about and immediately knocks out poor Squaddles. Maple chuckles and grabs a gem in the center of her sweater and merges with her Refractal. Okay, time to get some Gravity Falls references into this Beast Merge form. So we've got the sphere that contained Mableland, which was a prison. We've got the human-sized hamster ball. We've got the floating pose that Mabel did at the end of Season 1. And we've got the infinity-sided dice. Kind of crazy that we're getting all of those smooshed in here, but it really does end up working. The design itself is extremely simple, but the real challenge was rendering the crystal, getting that iridescent shimmer and all. And all of the different facets, it took a while. But I like how it turned out. Okay, let's check out Beast Merge Fractal, the Light Prison. Wanting nothing more than to protect its trainer, this fairy type shatters into a cloud of light shards which form a sphere around them. While comprised only of solidified light, the shell is harder than diamond. Inside, waves of fairy energy lull the trainer into a dream. And after unfusing, the trainer can't remember their dream and whether they were in control at all. And the ability is comatose. So the user is always asleep but can still attack, but that also means it's immune to other status conditions. She is incredibly tough and supports Azaboon, who continues to be a nightmare to deal with. Once Azaboon falls, it's just you and your sister. Squaddles oinks softly to save her. Your last Pokemon deals a final blow that breaks through the prison. She separates and falls, and you rush over to remove the mind control collar from her neck. She shakes her head and gets to her feet.
Oh my goodness! Sorry about that. Twins shouldn't be fighting like that. I just couldn't control myself. Not a fan of that. Okay, so what do I need to do now? Take this collar back to McFadden in town? I can do that. I'll see you back there. Good luck out there!
Maple takes the mind control collar marked with the fairy type symbol, hugs her beloved Squaddles, and starts the journey back to the others. You start westward to shore. You are feeling absolutely exhausted and worry that there isn't much time left to deal with this whole apocalypse situation. You wish you didn't have to do this alone, and to your surprise, you see a familiar face is waiting on the dock. But we'll pick up from there in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying this series. There is a new puzzle added to the Discord server, so check out the video description for details on how to join all of the journal deciphering fun if you haven't done so already. I want to thank these spectacular Patreon supporters for helping the channel. But in particular, I want to shout out Angel, Cyberlord, and Mason for being absolutely amazing way up in the champion tier. Alright, I will catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.